Artificial intelligence is being used to expand the power of radiology and medical imaging.
The thing that I think confused a lot of people early on when AI was being introduced into healthcare was it was going to be a panacea, maybe it was going to replace humans in this process, or that general AI was going to be able to look at massive records and make massive decisions. I'm not saying that that isn't going to happen someday, but the products are really around that triage, finding things early, finding things in large quantity. So where it might take a human days to be able to find a diagnosis, whereas computers can run without sleep continuously and find those patients that need triage care right away.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved around 420 algorithms involving AI in imaging for various diseases, most of them in cancer. At Mass General Brigham, doctors have about 50 such algorithms to help them with patient care. About half have been approved by the FDA, and the remaining ones are still being tested.
There are certain conditions that if you don't treat quickly, the patient worsens or could actually pass away. And so examples of that would be like pulmonary embolism. In the ER setting, a patient comes in with shortness of breath. That could be one of the things they have, but it might not be the thing that they have. Could have congestive heart failure, which gets treated differently. So now there are algorithms that can detect pulmonary embolisms on a CAT scan of the chest. And so when that gets detected, it doesn't make the diagnosis. It's important to note that it's not saying this is definitely what it is. It's saying that the probability of this patient having it is much higher than this patient. And so you should look at this patient first. And when you have a series of patients that you need to care for, it does help to get that bump up in the list to be able to say, I should look here first because there's a higher likelihood that this patient has that and needs the treatment. But all of these different levels of AI all today require a human intervention to come in and say, I agree or disagree. So depending upon today, the sophistication of AI, it just makes it easier for that human to focus on the one area and to focus on the right patient to say, how do we get care faster?
The book of the 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, for putting the Spirit on me for doing this lesson. Double honors to all the apostles, bishops, elders, and all the sincere brothers pushing this gospel of the great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel. Shalom. Hope this lesson is edifying. See the video here, it's just for edification purposes only. I don't own this video. I'm not making any money off this video. Fair Use Act, Section 107 of the Copyright Act allows persons other than the copyright owner to make certain limited use of copyrighted material without the copyright owner's permission. Fair use is a defense to the copyright infringement. Well, you see this video here just now was talking about the artificial intelligence in terms of the future changes of medicines. All roads lead to the M-O to the T to the B. That's right, Revelation 13:16. We'll touch that in a minute, but all roads lead to the digital system. It's about control. In the beginning, it is going to seem like it is all for your convenience, for your safety, all your data, all your records, everything will be put on this so-called digital system where you'll have, it's all interconnected. If you forget your pass to the gym, you go to the bank. As a matter of fact, I was at the store earlier today, and you can barely, we're all seeing it, you can barely get a cashier. Everywhere you go, there's it's all these self-checkouts and everything. And if you look at some of these self-checkouts carefully, they have a system in place. It's not activated yet, but all roads lead to it, where you will see that you'll have to use some form of way to access these things in the future. like I said, I'll touch it shortly in Revelation 13:16. But I'll show you another little video here before we get into the lesson. Um, stand by a minute. Just a quick little video.
Currencies have many supporters, yet critics warn they would be a privacy nightmare.
One currency expert claims the removal of cash would push America closer to a totalitarian state. Dale Hurd has the story.
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell told the House Financial Services Committee in March that the Fed had already begun testing a digital dollar.
So what we're doing is experimenting in kind of early stage experimentation. How would this work? Does it work? What's the best technology? What's the most efficient?
Just like paper dollars, a central bank digital currency, or CBDC, would be issued by the Federal Reserve. Those pushing for it say it would have several advantages over physical money. They say it could be used to fight inflation because the Fed would have more direct control over the money supply. It could speed up transaction payments and help fight money laundering.
The ability to track transactions has a couple of elements that are very attractive to economic policymakers. One is to know where people are spending their money. Another is to track taxes and prevent evasion and that sort of thing.
Backers say the U.S. needs a digital dollar if it wants to remain the world's reserve currency. Opponents warn that it could be a very effective instrument of government control. Physical money has been called one of the last bastions of privacy. Laws like the Bank Secrecy Act have already stripped away most of the privacy from bank accounts and financial transactions.
Banks have really a ton of power that people don't realize to shut down accounts, to freeze accounts, and to end up holding them for really any number of reasons.
Currency expert James Rickards says a digital currency would move America closer to a totalitarian state.
If I buy anything, the government doesn't know it. MasterCard kind of knows it, but even MasterCard uses product codes. So they don't say, Jim bought a Snickers. It says Jim bought miscellaneous merchandise at a retail place. So the government doesn't know what you're doing. But with this new central bank digital currency, they will, because they maintain the ledger. So if I buy, Ron DeSantis' new book, or I go to a Donald Trump rally, or whatever it may be, the government, using artificial intelligence and having that information, which they would, are able to profile you. They say, well, this guy kind of looks like a conservative, and maybe he's MAGA. And then you've got a target on your back.
Last year, a Canadian court froze millions of dollars raised for truckers blocking roads to protest COVID-19 vaccine mandates. When the Pakistani government was faced with almost non-stop protest last year, it threatened to switch off the bank accounts of the protesters. A digital dollar could not only be switched off, the Fed would be able to force negative interest rates on Americans if it wanted them to spend more, penalizing savers. Digital cash might also be an easy target for hackers. On the bank-to-bank level, a real-time payment system called FedNow is expected to begin in July. It's not a digital currency, but an upgrade to what some call our antiquated banking system.
FedNow service is an instant payments infrastructure that financial institutions can use to clear and settle payments instantly.
Large bank deposits will be expected to clear much faster than they do now. But when it comes to a digital dollar, Fed Chairman Powell has admitted he's not at all confident that Americans want it. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Well, this ought to send a chill down your spine when you read in the book of Revelation that there'll come a day where you can't buy or sell. The digital currency actually enables that. If there's physical currency, whether that's coins or paper money, you get to have that, and you get to have physical possession of it. And so you can go to a marketplace and you can buy. You can also take your products to a marketplace and sell them and get cash. And the government's not involved in that transaction at all. They don't even know it's happening. But in a digital currency, they will know exactly what you're buying and how much you're paying for it and who you bought it from. So now you have absolute control that they could shut off your digital currency. And in that shut off, you don't get to buy and you don't get to sell. Now, if you don't think this is something that a government can really do, let's go back to 2012, where Lois Lerner is working at the IRS in the tax-exempt branch, and she denies tax-exempt status to any group that's got Tea Party in the name. She denies their ability to have that status. So
I'll pause it right there, family. It's not a coincidence that obviously they're pushing this. Well, not pushing, but it's coming to a fruition. And in I believe in early July, this new thing's called Fed now. If you remember, not that long ago, the owner of Cash App was recently deleted. I mean, read between the lines. It's about control. Um, at the end of the day, we have to be, we have to be smarter in this world and understand what is happening, because this is all biblical prophecy that leads to Revelation, the book of Revelation. But 2 Corinthians 2:11 says, lest Satan shall get an advantage over us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. The elect, the elect of Israel knows what time of day. There's people that are still walking in gross darkness, but the elect know what time of day it is. This guy, gentleman here on the left, he says, he quoted Revelation, but this is where the scripture is referring to, Revelation 13, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he had the mark of the name of the beast, or the number in his name. So basically, this is leading towards all the digital stuff. All roads lead to the digital stuff in terms of the M to the O to the T to the B. And eventually, they're slowly bringing this on us in the system. You see that right now, the interest rates are going up, inflations are really high. Everything is. This is all. You know how you say in the world, it's a control burn. This is all by design. But the Most High is putting the spirit on these devils to really do all these things, because as book the Lord says, I form the light and I create darkness. So basically, the Lord is balanced, right? So everything that we see here, it's all coming in for all these things here. It's that when you look at, for example, let's go to Revelation just to show you. This is book of Revelation 3 verse 10. It will show you that. Here we go. Just pull that up. Big it up here for a second. Bear with me. Okay, so yes, it says, because thou have kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. What hour is that? That's actually referring to Jacob's trouble. You can get that account in Jeremiah 30, verse 7. That's Jacob's trouble. Because thou has kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world. Once again, all the world, the whole world will be affected with this. Recently, we just had it's like a trial run back in 2020, where we can't. There was a whole bunch of people were forced to, or coerced to take these the jump shot, and they said it was for our benefit. It was for our health, to see our loved ones, be a good neighbor, do your part. Shortly thereafter, a large amount of people started getting deleted, and then when certain things were coming out, people were silenced. People were called conspiracy theorists, all different type of things. But it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world. And this is the point, to try them that dwell upon the earth. The elect knows what time it is, because family, this is what we're not supposed to do, because Revelation 14:10 tells us what would happen. The Most High will destroy us, delete us, if we take that. If we take that, the M to the O to the B, it's doomed for us. 31 verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Egypt is synonymous with Babylon the Great, which is America, and stay on horses, which means, and horses represent power, and trust in the chariots, same thing, right? So because they are many, and then basically for everybody who's trusting on this system here, is that when we're not trusting on the Holy One of Israel, which is our power, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, neither will they seek the Lord. Because what happens is there's the left and there's the right. There's people that believe that they trust in the creature and not the creator. But I'm here to tell you, this is we have to have faith. We have to endure for it till the end. The hopeful elect, Lord's willing, I'm a part of that number, and we're part of that number. But we got to keep the faith. Until next time, Shalom. Shalom, Israel.